Na 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 na.
Extinct am I?
That's our glider. Nathan,
Yes, Brenton.
museums.
Yes.
I feel like they are either really good
yes.
or really horrible.
Oh, you're
no,
so right.
There is no in between.
No. And there's like, yeah, and like, even as a kid, it's very easy for you to tell the difference.
Exactly. You can straight away. It's like you learn to walk. Well, you learn to crawl.
Yes.
Then you eventually stand up, and you stumble towards your parents.
Of course.
And then you know the difference between a good exhibit and a shit one.
Oh boy, don't you, buddy? Do you recall our great excursion in year 2 to the Brisbane Museum?
I do.
Oh, don't you?
I do. That was to Brisbane.
That was to Brisbane.
Yes.
It was a big day for Gold Coasters. We got to travel for 1 hour on the bus.
Oh my god! And we went to the museum.
Is that the first dinosaur bones you've ever seen before?
No.
Ooh, where did you see dinosaur bones before?
No.
Besides that one paleontology
my
visit.
My father took me to an exhibit.
Oh.
And I can't remember where it was, but I remember that was the first time I saw dinosaur bones.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a dinosaur.
Yeah, he did that whole monologue from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I had no idea what he was going on about.
23 chromosomes all pairing up.
Yeah. But yeah, we went to Brisbane on the school bus, on the magic school bus.
I wish it was Magic School Bus. The dinosaurs come to life.
Do you remember, because it was a dinosaur exhibit?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that's just like that's an exhibit that is just at the Brisbane at the time.
Which is there permanently, by the way.
Yeah, it was a permanent exhibit. It's not a touring exhibit. It's just, for some reason, dinosaurs. Come check them out.
Yeah.
But the point is that there was a kids section.
Yes.
That we spent a lot of time in.
I do
And we
remember.
had to do a lot of worksheets.
Oh my goodness.
In this, what? Okay.
Here we go.
This is what this segment should have been.
Yes.
Excursions. If you're going to send school kids on an excursion, don't give them a worksheet to do.
No.
We're not going to do it.
No, it never gets done. And when it does get done, it's always bullshit answers.
And by the way, either one student will do all the work in the whole year level, and then
they'll just all copy it.
The answers get around.
Yeah, they all get around.
We went on an excursion to Wet and Wild.
Oh, yeah.
For maths.
Yeah, some stupid reasons. Like, check out the velocity of the roller coaster. It's like, yeah, right.
Right, of the water slide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I remember going that day, and because you had to do it in groups.
Yes.
You had to go in groups, and you had to go down
right.
each slide and do timings or whatever, and it was like somewhat the same person had to go down each bloody slide because it had to be the same weight.
Oh my goodness, I know.
You know what I mean?
Like, math can be fun, and we're just like, no, when Wild is fun, you're just giving math into it.
I was in a great group. The group was definitely carrying me. And we got all the work done. Because the idea is that, you go around the park for like the first 5 hours or whatever, and you do all the worksheet, and then you go and
work, then play.
We did the work in that first 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness,
dude, we smashed it out. We got the whole day to ourselves. Most of that day, if any of our listeners have been to Wet and Wild on the Gold Coast,
yes,
we just went in the lagoon.
Oh my god, it's so much fun.
Oh,
I think I remember that because everyone eventually collated to the lagoon. Well. Where like everyone's like all the donuts are floating around.
Bro, we started that. We started the movement.
Did you? Yeah, it was you. And like I remember like all the teachers and students, like there's like 100 of us, all just like floating around in that, and it got really violent really quickly.
Yeah,
like,
dude, the lifeguards were freaking out. They were like, "There's not meant to be over 100 people." in
and
this
everyone was
lagoon.
like fighting over these donuts like madness, and everyone's just like flipping over and capsizing everyone else. And I remember our teachers just being like, "Oh, settle down, kids." We're all just ripping each other apart.
I remember I was nice enough to give my donut to someone else.
Oh, that's
and I regretted it after
like
the first few times
chivalry.
around this fucking lagoon. I was like, "Fuck me."
It's so true, and I don't know why. Like they give every kid the same worksheet because, like, yeah, even if you just do a page each and then just copy the answers, like it's fine. Also, it's never marked. Like no one gives a shit. Even the teachers don't care.
It's not an examination. I mean, the teachers, I think, just want you to do something.
Yeah.
To warrant...
To validate you just going to a theme
trip
park.
to Wet and Wild.
It's probably just more for them, if anything, because they also get to go on the rides, so they're just like, oh yeah, this is better than work.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah. Though, to be honest, as a teacher, I couldn't think of anything more terrifying than over 100 students at Wet and Wild.
Yeah, thankfully there are thick barriers at the edges of the theme park, so they can't escape. But like,
Thankfully, no one drowned. I mean, like, let's be
oh my
honest.
goodness, I know. Like, I would be mortified. But like, thankfully, I know at the dinosaur museum there's no water. So
Well, I was gonna say in this kiddie section. Point being, the end of that tangent.
yes, within a tangent.
Yes. So at this kiddie section, we were given a worksheet, and basically everyone ignored the worksheet.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like, it was strange in year 2, like when you were in the lower grades, like a lot of parents would volunteer to come mind children as well at the museum.
That's right. Yeah.
But one of the
Because they have
activities,
nothing else to do. It's
I guess. I mean, like
Yeah.
one of the activities was race the Velociraptor.
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember this?
I don't actually.
Dude, there was like this 100-meter stretch, and it was on the wall beside you, projected on it, was a Velociraptor.
Oh my god, no, I do remember this.
That ran at the speed that they predict a Velociraptor would have run at.
That's right.
And it was like, beat it. And we were fucking year 2. We couldn't beat a fucking Velociraptor. We're like, and for some reason, like, we were racing it. Like, like, honestly, do you think a Velociraptor, like, we don't know. They could.
No.
Do you think a Velociraptor would agree to a 100-meter sprint?
No. I feel like they would just keep on running until they found the prey.
Yeah, I feel like they'd keep on running, find a good spot to do a little U-turn, and then just come straight back at you and rip your face off.
Could you just imagine, like you're doing a relay, and it's like you're like standing at your like marker, and there's something next to you, a Velociraptor, like with its legs like primed up, like in that starting position. It's just, and the gun shoots, and it's just running forward. You're like, how did this get in the school?
Welcome to this week's episode of Classic Movie
Banter.
Hey,
you're with Nathan and
a very, very disgruntled and emotionally unstable Triceratops.
yes, as we are here to review movies older than 20 years and let you know, the listeners, if they're good or not, if these films hold up, if they're worth your time, Brenton, if damn it, they're worth watching.
You know what? I pray that every film we watch is worth my time.
I do too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what's worth even more time?
What?
These hours spent with you on this podcast.
Oh,
Nathan.
stop it.
You know what I mean? And I know our listeners know what I mean, you know.
Oh,
you know,
don't they
guys.
know? Like, they know what's going on.
You
like.
know, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks for the support, guys. Appreciate it, as always.
Yeah,
Please
every
keep
penny-
listening.
But good
seriously,
week?
yeah. Oh, yeah, good week.
That's good.
Good
we never
times.
ask each other these days, like, how your week's going.
How are you going?
I'm going good, buddy. Like, you know, I got a PlayStation 4 recently, so I've been very much addicted to that because, you know, I've never been able to afford a PlayStation 4, but now I can.
And you're making, you know, it's money well spent. You're making the most
I
of
finally sold my kidney, so, you know, a PS4 is the best thing to get after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
What about you? What's going on with you?
Some PS4. I'm
Some PS4?
fitting that into my schedule.
Oh, yeah. We can tell we're very excited people. I remember, like, when we first started this podcast, we're like, oh, yeah, I've been going for runs, you know, been out seeing girls and that kind of stuff. Now we're just like, oh, we woke up today. Like, we continue to live.
Well, I got up and I ate breakfast, and that was a good start.
Mate, that's the whole mission. Yeah. What's your go-to brekkie, like, these days?
Granola.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Granola. And some yogurt and some fruit.
Oh my! Well, who are you, Jamie Oliver?
That's usually the staple, and sometimes I mix it up.
Oh yeah.
And I'll cook some eggs.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you, mate. You're just
Hell
full
yeah.
of Dalton right there.
Okay. Sometimes I'll get here we go. This is gonna blow your mind.
I'm ready.
Sometimes, I cook up some eggs. I get some tuna, like with some sweet chili.
Ooh.
And I put that on a stack of avocado. And then like smashed avocado on toast.
Ooh.
And then on top of that goes the sweet chili with the tuna, and then I finish it off with a fried egg on top. Yum.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Man, like, our listeners at home, their mouths are watering. So they're just like,
gosh.
we need to pause on this podcast just to make some food. It's
Dude, you just like either like sometimes you just whip up some hollandaise, or you just like get some barbecue sauce, or just some like the sweet chili sometimes just isn't enough. You add some, some sauce.
Mate, I'm enjoying the creative flair you got going on. You're a young Jamie Oliver.
Oh,
It's like, it's kind of weird that you changed his name legally to his, but I still want to call you Brendan anyway. So
yeah. Please, listeners, like Nathan won't let me officially change my Twitter account to CM Jamie Oliver. But
Yeah. Also, it's weirdly taken. Don't ask questions. But,
but yeah, here we go. This week's film.
yeah.
Do you have a question for me?
I do. Mate, I'm just going to ask you the question. Can you please pitch me The Land Before Time?
The Land Before Time. Let's go back to 1987 when this film... Well, actually, a few years before. This film might have taken a little while to animate. But was released in 1988, so here we are. Should I do a George Lucas impersonation?
Mate, he's involved. You do what you want. Like,
Say Steve.
hey, Steve.
Steven, I got an idea for a movie. What if we we got, we did like kind of like Bambi, but like we just did it with dinosaurs. What do you think about that, Steve?
Hi, I'm Steven Spielberg.
No, okay. So The Land Before Time. There is a herd of long-neck dinosaurs.
Yes.
Back in, we can presume, maybe the Jurassic period.
Probably.
And they are out looking for their tribe in the Great Valley.
Yes.
The land is dying.
Isn't it?
The land is dying around them.
Is this a film about today, Brenton?
But all the while, they have managed to birth a little baby brontosaurus named Littlefoot. And due to various circumstances, Littlefoot is separated from his family. Oh. But courageously, he continues onward towards...
He's a fighter.
He is a fighter, yeah. And he continues onward towards that luscious Great Valley. He finds some friends along the way, and he overcomes many dangers. But his goal is never out of sight, and is always in his heart, as he goes across the land before time.
Wow. Brenton, here's some money that you're probably going to burn into some really shitty animation.
Say thanks, Steve. Yeah.
I, Steven Spielberg, give you this budget and this studio to make... Here's the director who made An American Tale, and you can now, with him, make this movie, George Lucas
thanks,
/
Steve.
Brenton
Yeah.
/ Jamie
I got this
Oliver.
great idea for this character, Jar Jar.
I just want to make characters.
Jar Jar Binks. I think he's going to be great. Yeah.
Great pitch, buddy. I'm loving it.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm hooked.
So let's add that Band-Aid to that pile over there.
All right.
Oh, by the way, what episode are we up to?
This is 26.
26.
Yeah, I had to think about that for a second.
I feel like we crossed the quarter century and we're like, whoa, where are we?
Once we get past Rocky 3, we're just practically aging.
Yeah, because we're back in the Jurassic period. There was a while there I was making some dinosaur sounds and I was like, where am I? And then I'm here today.
Yeah, it's a special day actually because we mentioned we'd do this episode back in our Jurassic Park episode.
We did.
If you haven't listened to episode 4, give it a listen. It's great,
dude. It's a good time.
Yeah, great time. But also, today is the 30. I think it is today. Today is the 30th anniversary of The Land Before Time. It's been 30 years. Hey!
Insert applause sound right now.
I'm not clapping this shit.
Hey, no.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, clap. Actually, we should celebrate a film being old.
Yeah. Good on you. Yeah. Good on you. You made a film that was over an hour long. Well done. Let's the Band-Aid's off. It's on the pile. Nathan, thoughts and feelings.
I fucking hated this film.
Holy shit.
It's
aggressive.
I'm not going to be kind with this, and people are very kind with this movie. I'm going to come in very aggressively because I've been waiting this whole podcast for a film I can just rip into. And Brenton, I think I've found the woman for me, and her name is The Land Before Time. But what did you think of this film? Because I don't want to dive in.
No. I'm not going to interrupt. You just keep going. You feel like you're on a roll. Like I can see in your eyes. You're ready to.
You can. It's like when a tiger spots his prey.
Exactly. I'm just gonna stand back.
This shit to threads
and let you rip that zebra. Rip into that zebra.
I will. Buddy. But see, I should before I really rip into it, I should say this is a very beloved film. And I have beloved it earlier in life because, this is a film that you watch at a very, very young age. For some reason, every school on the planet has the VCR collection of these films. like when they first came out, I swear there's the film that every child on the planet watches, at least in the Western world. And it's just I remember my memory of this film when because you've seen this before, right? When you were really, really young.
I've never seen this film before.
Oh no, have you?
No, I've never
Brenton, I'm so sorry.
I've never seen this film in my life.
So you don't even have nostalgia as context.
No, but continue. I want to continue hearing Nathan's perspective.
I don't want to go on, but when I was 5 and I first watched this film, I loved it, and I'm like, wow, what an amazing event! This is high art, all that kind of stuff when you're 5 years old. And then I think I watched all the sequels because there's 13 fucking sequels to this shit, and I remember liking them as well. And then I think I watched them a little bit until being 10 or 11 years old, and then I stopped. Because when I was 11, I'm like, I'm no longer a fan of this kind of stuff, it's too kiddie. And then I moved on and never come back. And people these days, Brenton, they love The Land Before Time. You mentioned The Land Before Time. I was at work today, And they're like, oh, you're going to do an episode of the podcast? And I'm like, yeah, we're on. They're like, I'm saying Land Before Time. My mate's like, damn, that's a great movie. And I'm like, you probably remember it as a great movie. Is it a great movie? Brenton, I say no. But I want to know where you sit on the fence.
Yeah, okay, so like I said, I've never watched The Land Before Time. I knew that it's well regarded with lots of nostalgia and warm feelings.
Yes.
And I liked this movie.
You did?
I liked this movie.
I'm happy for you.
I had a good time. I think it's very well animated. I will give it that. I think it's quite well animated. I liked the music. I thought the music was good. I like the dinosaurs. I think this movie is very, very corny, and you should know that going into it. It is like
this thing is a corn farm.
It's the metaphorical equivalent of sickly sweet. You can feel that like honey just like going down your throat, but a day later you're feeling good that you had the honey. You know what I mean? You don't know what I mean, but you know what I mean. I think it's very well animated. I think I know there's issues with it. There's definitely issues with it. That's why I say I like it. I don't say, oh my god, this is the best film of all time.
But there's also issues with network, and there's also issues with
of course. But my point is, I guess, that the positives don't necessarily outweigh all of the negatives in this.
All right. Well, I'm going to corrupt you this episode.
Well,
Brenton.
okay. I will also say, so going on to my negatives then.
Okay.
I don't like the voice actors of the children. I don't like that they are actually children.
Oh my goodness.
Though understandably, it kind of works, but at the same time, no, it doesn't.
No. Okay.
And also, the plot is pretty bare bones, and
there is no plot.
Non-existent was
what
I was about to say. Yeah. But yeah, I still, despite that, I like it.
I'm glad. You know what?
I think it's got heart. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I know. Like, I knew what the plot was, but it doesn't really spoil much for you. Like, there's not too much to spoil. But I don't know. My bigger one, I probably 2 or 3 main gripes of this movie that I could collate. Gripe number 1. I hate all the characters, like all of them, like without a doubt.
All of them?
Like all of them. Like all of them. And I'll go into reasons why, but I'm going to stick to non-spoilers for now, because you know what? Like, when it comes to children's films, Brenton, I feel like this is the children's film where I can't find any redeeming qualities in any of the characters.
Yeah, right.
Because you think it'd be love and friendship and all that kind of stuff, but like, one, they're all racists. Like, all of them.
How?
Like, well, okay, so the main plot, like, is just like this long neck, this Bronchosaurus, like, traveling with this Triceratops, like, and then the rest of them friends, and like, they're all trying to get from A to B, but they all can't agree on what to do, purely because of what they look like. And like, the Triceratops Sarah, she's like, oh, I don't hang with long necks. And then he's like, oh, well, 3 horns, whatever they're called, like, they're all selfish and that kind of stuff. And like, the whole film, they just consistently talk like that. And by the end of it, they still refer to each other as like the long necks and the 3 horns. Like, they're still like identifying each other by their race.
True. But wouldn't you say that by the end of it, they've come to accept each other to a certain extent at the same time?
I think they just literally just wanted to survive with each other. I think they just like wanted to go across the desert.
True.
They're literally all they had. Like, there's a scene where like Ducky like meets Spike and she's like, oh, you just exist and like, let's be friends. And then immediately like they're just traveling across the desert together.
Yeah, but I can't talk about the ending of the film obviously because it spoils it. But that character does. I disagree. I think the end of it, yeah, sure, they refer to each other as let's say their race, but their characters have kind of gotten past the racial elements of this film and have come to see each other as family.
It's true, but through like the most cliche plot you could possibly imagine.
I don't deny that this film is cliche, for sure, yeah.
You know what's funny? Universal, who made this film, also made Jurassic Park. And so
someone's got an obsession over there.
I feel like someone at Universal is very obsessed with dinosaurs. And from the studio so they haven't made Jurassic Park yet. So this came out before Jurassic Park. I think this was them testing the waters for something like Jurassic Park.
Probably. You know what? You're probably right. Yeah.
And thank God it was successful. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have gotten Jurassic Park.
No, you're right.
Oh yeah, no, like dinosaur, like, you know, what people like this group of creatures, you know? And so it came from Lucas and Spielberg for whatever reason, even though they did nothing on this film but come up with the idea. And it's like, to see Spielberg go from this to Jurassic Park.
I've ever made in my life.
But to see them go from like this to Jurassic Park is like the biggest sleep. Like the plot is so non-existent, and like one thing I despise is that it relied so much on the physical comedy. Like I'm so used to like children's films these days being so sharply written, and that's probably like maybe an old films kind of thing. But even from a film from like the late 80s, like I'm so used to children's films like having great dialogue, but this was just like. Shark tooth.
Yeah, I think for me, the positives of this film are definitely the visuals, for sure. I think there's some
Really?
Yeah, no, I think there's genuinely. I think there's a heart to this film. Like you can see that, like
it's very earnest, isn't it?
Yeah, the detail in that imagery and whatnot, and some of the action scenes in this film as well, like are quite well done.
Like what? Like what action scene?
Oh, there's action scenes. I can't spoil it till the spoiler
It's
section.
the same action scene repeated like 12 times throughout the movie.
Oh no, it's not. Come on.
Okay.
There's probably 2 action scenes in this film.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
I agree. But I agree that there are plot contrivances, and this film is very cliche and whatnot. And it's obvious that given that it's just over an hour, like it's not a long film necessarily.
No, thank God it's short, but
that they are
but
focused.
also, it feels bloated. It feels like there's things in here that could easily be cut out.
True.
Like
true.
there's a scene where it's like a short film of like just baby pterodactyls just playing with cherries. I'm like, why is this in the movie? Why, Brenton?
Because I feel like this film is more about the world than kind of these characters.
You know what it
to a
feels
certain
like?
extent.
It feels like Fantasia.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's that kind of whimsical land before time. Like that's the. It's not. The film isn't Littlefoot and Friends. It's the land before time. It's capturing this world. It's in the. Yeah, so I think I kind of forgive those plot contrivances and maybe character contrivances as well. It's interesting that you said though you didn't like any of the characters.
No,
because I liked 2 of them.
Which 2 did you like?
I liked Littlefoot.
Yeah,
Littlefoot's a boss. And I didn't mind Sarah.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna rip into something that's all spoiler stuff.
Sarah's got her issues, but
dude, she is issues.
she is, but and for a while there, I was pretty negative on that character. But there was one little shot in there that I was like, it redeemed her for me.
Is it when she weeps? Like,
oh, Nathan, there's a reason we have a spoiler.
It's
section.
not a spoiler if a character cries. Like it's. I'm not editing it out. I'm keeping it in. I'm so against this movie.
Okay, yeah. I'm not revealing now what that moment was, but there was a couple moments that Sarah had that I was like, yeah, this is all right, you know.
But here's the thing: she's mean for no reason.
No, I completely I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree that it's just here we are. Here's this character that's just a total stereotype, probably 2-dimensional character, right?
Yeah,
but. In the context of this film and the visual whimsical of it, I can still have a good time with it.
You know what also makes me hate her? It's her scream. She has
she's an awful scream, yeah.
She has this 4-year-old scream, like when a toddler screams, and it's so fucking annoying. Like every time she does it. If you want to drink to this film, drink when she screams, because I hated it. And every scene is her just doing something dumb that's so obviously dumb, and then she just screams, and then by sheer chance, it's always chance, she survives. And I'm like, you're a dinosaur. Thank God.
This is my note on the screams and partly the baby talk. This baby talk is so annoying, and the screams are killing me.
like they're literally killing me. Like I hate them so much. Like. Also, it's not just Sarah and Longneck. They're the main 2 characters, but like I don't like Ducky. I reckon she's the Jar Jar of this film, frankly. Like
I'm Yogi Bear.
Misa Isalaika. Like I thought so much of Jar Jar. I reckon.
Really?
Seriously,
Yeah.
I think this is Lucas's early dab into Jar Jar.
Wow.
Like
they kind of look similar, to be honest. As
they
well.
do.
Yeah.
And she's just especially when Littlefoot meets her, she's like, she's like Misa Ducky, and she's like, yep, and I'm like, you're so Jar Jar. Like. Yeah, so that's a Star Wars reference. I also don't like Petrie. His grammar really pisses me off.
Petrie's probably my least favorite out of all of them.
He's this pterodactyl who just can't fly, and that's his entire character. Like,
yep, that's it. And he's the only one that I don't think is voiced by a child as well. So it's quite strange. It's quite
bizarre.
It's like, why is this pedophile with these kids?
Get out. Like, oh, run.
Yeah, Petrie was really the villain the whole time.
Oh no.
Screw the what is it, Sharptooth? Screw that guy.
Yeah. Nah. And then and Spike I just didn't care for. I'm just like,
no, Spike's
He's just there, just for
Spike's
the
the
sake of
little
being
Larry.
there. Like,
Spike's because the animators were having a fun time.
yeah, I reckon they're all just high off their faces doing this. They're just like,
No,
let's
not
all
at
do
all.
this.
No,
Like,
I feel like, and we'll get into this in making movies, but there are certain ways that this movie was envisioned to be made. That there was
Yeah.
things added to it later on that maybe didn't need to be there.
Yeah, I can know after doing research, I understand why this film is what it is.
Yep.
But looking at it purely as a film without that knowledge, like,
no.
as an audience member, you don't have that context, and I'm just like, no.
There's a couple of short films, as you say, that are kind of in the middle of this film that I could have, I feel like they're the weakest part of the film. If you cut those and made it just under an hour, it would have been a better movie.
This was like an episode of television. Like, it could almost be a pilot,
true.
you know? Like,
True, but it's still a pretty darn good looking.
Is it that good looking? I didn't find the art that captivating.
I find it endearing.
Yeah. But this came out at the same time as like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and like American Tail.
But
and,
it's
like,
a different art style. It's not that.
Like The Little Mermaid came out right around this. It's like there's just the art could have been so much better.
I still think it's quite endearing. Yeah.
But also there's the shots where it's just panning around like you'll have like a landscape view of like a Littlefoot walking into like a volcano or something like that, and then the camera pans for like 10 seconds, and it's just this like half-assed like watercolored kind of like.
But isn't that cool? Like I just think that's different and cool. Like it's not as detailed, sure, but it still gives across that kind of impression of what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And it's still visually kind of stunning in a way.
Visually, it reminds me of a film from the 1930s. Actually, a lot of this actually reminds me of a film from the 1930s.
True, yeah.
Like how earnest it is, how like joyous and...
But I think that's what they're going for, personally.
Yeah, I think it is like a throwback film.
Yeah.
But for a throwback film from the throwback time of the 1980s, I feel like now, like, it's just... This is just way beyond what I can tolerate.
Okay, let's rate this film. I think. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Anything else you want to say in non-spoilers? Well, actually, I will give some pros.
Yep.
As a child, I found the sharp tooth scary as hell.
I can imagine that, actually. Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, genuinely terrifying.
Some of those shots with, like, just, like, basically the teeth crunching into the camera, yeah.
When you're, like, 6 or 7, like, that is horrifying. And so, like, and even now, like, I found it fine. But you know, that's the best part of the movie, because I'm like, oh, this is giving me like it's like when you have PTSD. Like I'm like, oh, this fucker again. Like, oh my god, no!
I thought I'd left you behind.
I did. I left you when I was a child. So it's like okay, I've tried to get better. But also like I don't know, it's like random. Like, I didn't like there was a narrator. I wasn't a big fan of there being a narrator in the film.
Oh, come on!
No, it didn't. Come on. No, because he would say things that literally just happened or that is like happening as he's speaking. Like a character will jump and then be like, this character jumped. It's like we get it. Like
you're not wrong. But you're not necessarily right either.
It just doesn't need to be there. It just doesn't need to be there at all. Also, I thought the film was a little bit of propaganda on, like, you know, getting kids to eat their green vegetables. You know, they always go on about, like, finding the green food. I reckon this is all vegetarian propaganda.
Did you want them to turn into carnivorous dinosaurs?
Pardon?
Did you want them to turn into carnivorous dinosaurs?
Yes.
Do you want them to start, like, eating each other?
Yes. Happily. I would have
Lord of
loved
the Flies.
I would have loved it if, like, they defeated the T-Rex and then just, like, ate on its corpse. Like, they're just all starved and, like, we're not going to find the Green Lantern.
Quick option for title talk, Lord of the Flies, Dinosaur Edition.
Oh my gosh, I wish. But no, I'm happy to rate it if you are. Like,
yeah, sure. Well, I'm going to give this a thumbs up.
Yeah, me too. No, fuck you. I'm giving it a thumbs down.
So spoilers. Mixing John Williams.
I wish John Williams was in this. Like, you know what I want to to spoil first?
What?
The opening scene with the fucking eggs. Like, you know how they're all
What about it?
Okay, you know how they're all like rolling about and they're all like popping out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's like a little short film. You know what I wish had happened? I just wish like because there's so much ludicrous stuff that the eggs go through. They're like bouncing down all these cliffs. I just wish like at least one of them died viscerally in that moment.
Dude, like it's funny like you say this about this opening moment that you were like kind of done at the start, but like one of my notes is, quote, I'm so invested in this opening narration and the hatching scene.
Wow. Maybe it is just me. Maybe I had some bad cereal or something like that.
I don't know, dude. Like, I just had a good time. Like, I was like, and I was expecting to go in, I should have said this in the other section, but I was going into this expecting that I wasn't going to like it. I thought it was going to be kind of shitty. But for some reason, it kind of brought out my inner child and I kind of sat back and put my worries aside and had a fun time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like I don't know if like, let's jump around a little bit, but with rating the movie, like, would you recommend this? Who would you recommend this for on a Thursday night?
Dude, I think some people would get a kick out of watching this again.
Even those who've never seen it before, like
Yeah,
you.
dude. I had a good time.
You would recommend this to adults?
I really wasn't expecting to. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know if it's for everyone. Like I said, the only things you got to know going into this is that it's so sickly sweet it might hurt in places.
Oh, yeah.
But
like
that's
just,
also
sucked a
part of
lemon.
the enduring quality of it. If you want to have a nice family fun film, why not, dude? It goes for like just over an hour. It's not long. If
I'd
you hate
recommend
it,
this
just
for
turn it
7-year-olds
off.
and under. Like, there's no way, even drunk with mates, I would even want to watch this film. Like, there's just nothing to it. No, like the bare bones of a theme. It's like watching like pantomime on like a stage. Like, it's literally that.
Yeah, but there's still that quality to like something that's pantomime that makes it
Yeah.
like.
You know what? It has got heart and it is earnest and like there is a good message with it. It's just, I don't know.
Okay, well, now we're in the spoilers section.
Yeah, we are in the spoiler section proper.
I don't have actually many notes on this film because it is quite.
There's nothing much to spoil, is
It's
there?
not. Hey, Nathan, this film ain't complicated. It's not complicated, and I still liked it. So there you go. Let's talk about one of the greatest scenes in film history.
Oh my goodness.
No, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it's on someone's list.
You're about to mention the mother
Let's talk
dying.
about that fucking sleeping scene.
The sleeping scene?
Yeah, dude, the scene where they all go to
Oh, yeah.
sleep. Dude,
Man, did it get you in the feels?
just yes.
Did it?
Yes, it was a good, like,
I was literally just
quality.
hoping one of them would like freeze to death.
Quality time, you know? Littlefoot just kind of like, you know, Littlefoot's so depressed in this movie, it's hard to watch. You're like, oh, come on, buddy. And so, like, you know, he mopes off again and he's got tears in his eyes, like, basically this whole movie. And then, so he goes into, like, this little crater and he goes to sleep. And he looks over and like the others are all kind of bend together, like keeping warm. And then one at a time, the dinosaurs come over and join him. And then Sarah's left by herself. And then she's trying to like, she's got this pride issue. Like she's trying to like, decide whether she wants to like, you know, keep her pride and stay away from the rest. But again, eventually the cold is getting to her and she gives in. She comes over and just basically just like bomb dives into that pile of dinos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She goes
And then
for it.
the music kind of swells and it just pans out. It's just a nice, simple moment.
It is a nice moment. You know what is a nice moment in the film? Like, that is very sweet and I do like it.
Yes.
Um,
Less talking and more of that, please. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's because there's subtext into that
Yes.
moment. There's not like just shitty dialogue layered throughout it, which is like most of the rest of the film. Because all the rest of the dialogue is just them shouting their names. Like every time they say Petrie or like Littlefoot, Sarah, like they're all just shouting each other's names. So when that moment happens, it's actually lovely.
Exactly.
It's probably because the rest of the film was
But
like
that's
that
what I
you
mean.
love
There's
it more.
There's that couple like there's probably 10 minutes in that middle there that I just could get rid of it.
Oh, get rid of it all.
You know?
Like that scene where like they're getting the leaf from the trees. You know, they finally find like this one horde of trees.
That's not that bad. The scene I'm thinking of is it's basically, I don't know where it is. It's basically just after all the characters have been introduced. Which, by the way, all the characters being introduced takes way too long.
Oh, so long.
Like, it just, like...
Also, that random, like, old Rudo kind of guy.
Oh, dude. I was like, this old dude's the best. And then he just was like, that's nice, son. I'll give you some life advice. And then he just strolls off.
You're just like, fuck off. You had nothing to the movie.
It's like, oh, well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. Seriously. Dude, if he'd said that line, like the little kid actor, I'll just go fuck myself. Roll credits.
Oh my god, I would have given this movie 5 stars immediately. Like, oh, that would have been amazing. But what scene were you thinking of?
With what?
Like, it's things you could have cut out, like that 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I can't remember specifically. There's a period of like 10 minutes between the sleeping scene and the scene after all the characters are established of them, you know, journeying. Let's say, that it's just get.
And it's not like Lord of the Rings.
Get on with it.
It's not like Lord of the Rings where they're all walking across the land and there's beautiful sweeps of New Zealand. It's just them, like, walking on, like, some shitty animation of just, like another fucking leaf and then another fucking volcano. You're just like, we get it. It's, like, prehistoric times. Do something different. And it's just, like, there's, like, frogs jumping about. And you're just like, I don't care.
Fun scene. Yeah, so I guess, like, the opening, like, it's, again, like, I'll bring up the opening again as well because I thought it was really investing of, like, just getting into it. Again, establishing that majesty and kind of wonder of like dinosaurs. Like, gosh, dinosaurs are just so bloody great, aren't they?
Yeah, but see, my love of dinosaurs is not blinding me from this film. Like,
oh, come on, don't
if they weren't dinosaurs, would you still love this story?
Yes, if it was this well animated and had this kind of scope, yeah.
I'm not.
I don't know,
I'm not
dude.
on the same page.
This could have been like Fox and the Hound style, like like a bunch of woodland creatures, and if it had still kind of had that landscape imagery, kind of just that heart to it, and like a team that really cared behind it that was doing it, like I think it still would have carried across.
Yeah.
But the fact that it dinos makes this like just edges it up a notch. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know. I found it so cliche. Like the scene where the mother dies. Like you can see it coming from like a mile away.
Oh yeah, they totally Bambied her.
And it is Bambi. Like I think George Lucas explicitly said like we want to do Bambi. So it's like and like it's like, and also she's like, she just whispers to like Littlefoot, and like also that's why I don't like Littlefoot. Like he takes so fucking long just to get the fact that she's no longer there, to the point like when he thinks his shadow is his mother, I'm like, oh come on. It's like,
if you kind of think about it though, like I was thinking that, and then the thought crossed my mind of like, imagine trying to explain to like a 3-year-old, like you're dying, your 3-year-old son is there going, come on, Dad, we've got to get to McDonald's. I don't know. Like,
just,
and it didn't look like you dying thought, fuck, my son's got issues. But like, but I gotta get to.
That's what I would say to my dying father. Like,
and it's like you have to explain before you pass the concept of death and passing on, and that you will still be with your child no matter what, even though you're about to go to sleep and never wake up.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine? Like, I think the mum does a pretty good job.
Also, she knows she's about to fuck with her son because she's like, oh, by the way, you're gonna walk past a rock that looks exactly like me. Have fun.
But I'm also glad that like. I was meant to say barefoot. Littlefoot never gets over the fact that his mum passes in this film. He never
nor should he, by the way.
But I think that's
But
quality.
It really dwells on his like trauma with it, and it's like, I don't know. They just say nothing more besides the fact that he's sad.
But
like,
again, I don't think. I feel like that's kind of genuine. Like I feel like if it didn't do that, I'd have questions about it. Of like, hang on a second, this like basically this little toddler's mum just died.
Yeah,
and he's not. He's just. Is he a psychopath? Like
he'll just like eating the other dinosaurs. You're like, oh no. But like, I don't know. He also makes dumb decisions. Like also when like, you know how he keeps on. He's like, oh, there's no T-Rex. Oh, there's no T-Rex. Like, dude, how many people said there's a T-Rex? Your mother fought a T-Rex. Obviously, there's a T-Rex. And they're like, oh no, I fell down. I'm like, dude, why would Sarah lie about that to you?
I feel like a lot of these characters have got big pride issues. It's like he's prideful of the fact that like, you know, his mum's dying act was to like save him and kill the T-Rex. He's like, yeah, the T-Rex is dead because my mum did it. Don't bring up my mum.
Oh, by the way, how great is it when she bitch slaps that T-Rex? Like, it's so good.
Dude, that action scene. Get amongst
I will give the film that.
That's what I mean.
That was a great scene. That
action scene.
I enjoy that. Because he's very scary, the Sharptooth, and then like in just one swing, she just like fucks him up.
He just smashes against that rock.
Oh, it's so good. And he's recovering, and she's like, "Run, Littlefoot," and he's like, "Oh, I don't know." She's like, "Wait, hold up." Boom! And he just gets slapped again.
Dude, and then it like just takes that chunk out of her back.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
I was like,
and they don't shy away. It's like there is a chunk.
No, and you see it. You see the little red blob. I'm like, crikey. And the film's rated G as well. So I'm like, good on them getting past the censor. But like, I love it when he later on, because obviously she dies. I love it when later on he hears her voice from the leaf. And like, my first thought was like, maybe he just like ate some of the leaf and it's like a bad shroom. And like, he's just tripping. And he's like, oh no.
True. I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, it's probably a good thing that leaf was destroyed because he was
attaching his mother to it, and you're just like, it's a leaf.
Like you know what I mean. Yeah.
I liked the bit though where he threw leaves on Sarah. Cause like,
I did too. Yeah,
I thought that was a lovely scene. Because the whole scene, she's being a bitch. So she's just being like, she's like, oh, you're not. I don't need leaves. It's like, come on. It's like, stop being prideful for like 2 seconds. It's like,
yeah, and I like that he doesn't go, well, I gave you the leaves. He just does it, and then she just assumes that, you know, oh. Yeah.
She's just like, oh yeah. She's like, gives a little nod and she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I just didn't care. Like, I thought they were all prideful for no reason. Like, I didn't understand why.
True, like I get that. And it was like the film was going for that idea that like the parents instill the ideas in kids that like, oh, you know, stranger danger, like don't go outside of your herd, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
so that's why I thought like they're all racist. It's like, oh, they're all propagating segregation.
But I think they're propagating what the parents are telling them.
Yeah.
To stay safe, and then they kind of do away with that. 1 for survival, and then 2 eventually, I guess, for friendship and family.
Yeah. And like they do act like a family despite the fact they've only known each other for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like when they think Petrie's dead and Ducky's like, oh no, Petrie, he was my friend. I'm like, you've known him for like 48 hours.
But hey, man, that's what kids do, dude.
It's like Suicide Squad when they're all like, we're a family now, and you're just like, please. Like,
yeah, but I feel it's more justifiable in this because they're little kiddies. They're like kids just.
You know what? That's probably like 2 days is probably their entire lifespan currently. Like,
kiddies, man, they just attach themselves. They don't care. They don't care.
They really don't.
What you look like. They just go, yeah, I want to play. I want to, I want to kill T-Rexes. And they kill this T-Rex.
Oh, don't they? I know. What do you think about their plan to kill a T-Rex? Like,
Littlefoot. He's brave, dude. he's a great. He's like, well, come on, let's push over this boulder and hope it lands on this thing's head.
like that's such a low chance of it actually working. Like, thank God Sarah kicked in at the end. It's like you all would have been killed. Like,
good on you, Sarah. Spelt with a C.
I know. I know as that as well. I'm just like, nah, I'm not. It's like when have like
that's what put you over the edge.
That's
You're
what
like,
really.
no.
That's what really no hold back. It's like those people who just are like they spell like Michaela, but they have like 5 Y's and like 2 apostrophes. You're just like, what are you doing? I didn't care for it. I didn't care for it at all. Like, also, like, I don't know. I also found just like the plot itself. Like, it was so obvious. That ending, especially. Like when Sarah's like, oh, I'm going to go the easy way, and then Woodford's like, no, this is the right way. I'm like, what do you reckon the message is of this scene? Like,
I think there was a better scene in there that could have been better to bring them all back together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, like, Littlefoot, it's like, come on, you're climbing a rock. Your other friends, even though they want to follow you, the other 3, like, they physically can't. Like, they keep on falling down it. It's like...
But again, I feel like it's like that pride, like, but it's not even pride. It's like pride of his mum and his mum's memory, and it's like that thing that like that kind of overrides any idea. Because I think if Littlefoot was thinking straight, like Littlefoot's pretty giving. Like, he can see when the group's in danger or is struggling, and he was always willing to help a hand. Oh, Littlefoot, you little bloody champion,
bastard,
you little. I'm just proud of you, bud.
I'm just proud of you, boy. Well done. But like, also, do you not find like every dinosaur story ever is just them trying to like find a place to live? It's just like this, like the narrative of every dinosaur story ever told. Like, we got to go to the safety line. Like, the Disney film Dinosaur, like, I guess probably not We're Back, but, like, actually probably not Jurassic Park either. Okay, maybe it's just those 2 movies, but, like...
Yeah, Dinosaur definitely borrows a lot from Land Before Time.
Oh, hugely,
sure.
Yeah,
and then it just adds lemurs, because,
why not?
Fuck it.
Yeah, and there's also some weird voice actors in that film as well. It's
yes,
like,
there are, yeah.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Gosh, I feel like we've brought up Dinosaur on the podcast before.
We have.
Yes.
We have.
And
we're getting back to it, Brenton. If anything, this podcast is just pointlessly cyclical.
I can't wait till that film's 20 years old.
Oh, I think it's 2000 that came out.
That'll finish our trilogy of dinosaur
movies, and we'll never come back to it again.
Until, what was that movie that came out a few years back, Walking with Dinosaurs or whatever?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I didn't see it. But,
no, I didn't see it.
Or we could do The Good Dinosaur. I know you love that movie.
Oh, I fucking hate it
I've
much.
never seen it.
It's easily the worst of the Pixars. Like, even worse than Cartoon.
Eesh.
Like, ugh. But like, I don't know. What do you think about the ending? Do you like the ending? Like, where they find
look, I like the ending shot. I like that they like, and they're like, oh, let's have a race, and they're like, they still maintain that family. I don't like that we go through like a montage of like everything that's happened in the film so far.
That's another thing that made it feel like Pantomime. It's like, and here's the lessons of today. It's like play school. Like,
yeah, that was a bit. In terms of the film's ego, I felt like it was like, whoa, look at these visuals that we,
Look at this great film we just made for you. It's like, mate, it's like, calm down.
Yeah, like, for the sake of the film, it should just focused on that, like, last little moment where they come together and are playing and the parents are okay with it and they've kind of, they've achieved something.
Yeah, also, like, when they reunite with their families don't freak the fuck out. They're just
Dude,
like...
I love when Ducky's like, oh, this is like our new like sibling, and it's like fucking Spike, and Spike's like, and the mum's just like, I can love you too, I guess.
She's just like, oh, I may as well live with it. That's like, I love that Spike's family is never addressed. I like to think this thing really dark happened to all of them, and we'll never find out what it is.
Poor Spike.
Oh, poor Spike. I'm trying to think like he's gone through like a genocide or something like that, and he's literally the last one.
I had the thought. I was like thinking, why can't Spike talk? And then I had the thought that like maybe like he was he was like a premature egg or something, or like he was an egg. And so like he's kind of got a bit of like he's got some learning difficulties maybe, or like has like autism, like is on the scale of autism. But like it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that like he's just there and he like has his friends and they care for him and treat him like a a regular old dinosaur,
Because they're all really flawed, like, aren't they? So,
yeah, I guess.
You know,
Yeah.
I do admire that. Yeah.
Yeah, but which is why I guess like my least favorite is the pterodactyl, whose name I can't even.
Oh, Petrie, fuck Petrie. Like,
Petrie,
flying, like, fuck you, and your bad grammar. Like, yeah. Also, like, I love, like, when the narrator says at the end, they have, like, they pass their stories onto future generations. I thought, as someone who's seen the sequels, I'm like, well, that kind of spoils the fact they all survive all the other films, doesn't it? I'm like, this was clearly made to standalone with no direct-to-DVD
Oh god,
sequels.
we couldn't do a kiddies film and like unless like it was like Harry Potter and the kids grew up with The Land Before Time and the films matured as well, and by like episode 7 it's like Voldemort appears.
Oh my god, I would have loved if these films got dark. Like suddenly, like Littlefoot gets like a scar on his forehead, and he's just like, "Oh no, I am the chosen one."
Dum dum da dum dum. John Williams is back.
You must be a wizard dinosaur. I'm a what?
You're a wizard, Littlefoot. I'm a what? A lizard and a thumping big one.
We just see like the adult Littlefoot by the end of it. He just like stomps on Voldemort, like just in one swoop. And Voldemort's like, "Oh feck, how do I get out of this?"
Horcruxes corrupt you from the inside out. Not if I whip it with my fucking tail.
He just bitch slaps Voldemort to a rock, and he's like, "I didn't see this coming." Like, like he appears like a time turner around his neck.
What up?
I would have loved to see that crossover. Like, yeah.
Oh my god! And just Ray Fiennes appears.
Oh,
I can touch you now. Touches Littlefoot and has like a reaction and just kicks him like 3 football.
Sarah
fields
just
across.
comes out of nowhere, just knocks him off his feet. I would have loved it. Oh.
Not the Elder Wand. So, is there anything else we need to spoil?
Also, I thought Diana Ross did a shit job with the song at the end.
That's alright. It's
I wasn't
cheesy.
a fan.
Again, it's cheesy. It's whatever.
Yeah.
There's I have a making movies fact about that.
Oh,
which
do you?
I will wait.
Or should we segue
Because
into
we're going straight into
How did they make this?
Making movies.
How do they make this movie?
How the hell do you make a movie, Nathan?
Well, I have some facts that might help you find out.
Do you know that this Diana Ross track, it's an alright time, but do you know that it took off in Japan? And it actually
really?
It actually became like a classic karaoke tune in Japan.
Really?
Like people love this
The
song
Japanese
in Japan.
love it. Well, you know what? I'm glad I love stories where you have something obscure and it finds its home. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I am 100% for that.
But this isn't even that obscure. It's like the most generic song of generic. But for
Yeah.
some reason, they've like
The Japanese love it. Like,
I love it.
No, good on them. So you know how I said this feels like there was it relied on a lot of physical comedy, which I wasn't a big fan of. It's because when Spielberg and Lucas originally conceived the film, they actually wanted to have no dialogue at all.
Yes, and this is the point I was kind of referring to before, when they were going for that Fantasia vibe.
Yeah,
Like,
and I would have preferred that film by a mile.
I would have loved to have seen that version.
Yeah,
Even with like even more minimal dialogue, if you just wanted a little bit of narration, a little bit to establish the characters, and then just leave it alone.
yeah, but then they're like, "Oh, we want children to love this." It's like children like Fantasia, probably not all children, but like just do the artsy fartsy stuff. Like it's way better than the products you got there. You got any fun facts?
I do.
Ooh,
Here's a fun one.
ooh, here we go.
Do you know that there's many alternate cuts of this film?
No,
So-
what?
So, and this is because I presumed that there was songs in this. That there
Yeah,
was
because there's
sing-along
songs in all the sequels, but not this
Well,
one.
apparently
Thank God.
there's a straight there's a DVD cut of this film that adds songs to it.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Um.
Have you seen these songs? Like, have you gone on YouTube?
No,
or-
no, I haven't looked it up, but apparently they exist. Do you know that this was the highest grossing animated film of all time until The Little Mermaid came out the year after?
No, really.
It was.
More than Cinderella, more than Peter Pan.
Dude, this film was successful. People like dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
They love them.
I guess there wouldn't have been a big dinosaur movie before this in animation. I don't think so.
Well, King Kong had a dinosaur in it. That's about it. Yeah.
I'm sure Godzilla's fought a dinosaur over the years, but like, yeah, probably this would have been one of the first. Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
dude.
I can see why. And then Spielberg and Lucas like, okay, we need to do this, but way bigger and better. Thank God they did Jurassic Park after this. I've got some interesting. Okay, so with the research for this movie, I found out that the production for them to do this film was marked by extensive research, and this says this on Wikipedia. It says where researchers visited natural history museums, New York and Los Angeles, and the Smithsonian. Brenton, they did all this, and yet there's so many historical things this film gets wrong. I want to point out 3 of them to you. Okay, this is called This is called What Does the Lamb Before Time Fuck Up?
Oh, Nathan.
Number 1. Littlefoot would never have known his mother if this stuck to actual fact. So, sauropods, which is kind of what his like breed is called, they actually weren't great parents. So, there was this guy called Mike Habib, he's a paleontologist. He said, the animals probably laid these eggs and then they left them. So, in reality, what would happen is that they'd wake up and there'd just be hundreds like it and they'd all be scattered about the bush and they wouldn't know who their parents are and they just all stick together as babies and just grow up like that. Like turtles. So,
right.
So the premise of Littlefoot finding his family, that wouldn't have happened. That's number 1. Number 2, a sharp tooth. So T-Rexes, they actually never picked fights with like the big adult, Brachiosaurus or whatever they're called. Because what happens in reality is that in their environment, ththese dinosaurs, as the film suggests, they're really huge. Like, the bitch slapping, like, it happens in real life. And so the T-Rexes would be like, no, that's dumb, they'll destroy me. Because one hit with his tail, and they'd literally, like, screw with their heads. Their neck would be shattered. So that's thing number 2, Brenton.
Yeah, well, as happens in this film. Yeah.
Yeah, the T-Rex. But the T-Rex shouldn't have fallen down that crevice and then suddenly just, like, open up its eye as soon as, like...
Dun, dun, dun!
Oh my goodness, when Sarah ran at it, I'm like, this shouldn't wake you up.
Yeah.
Thing number 3. Petrie could never not fly. So pterodactyls, Brenton, they fly since they're born. Like they fend for themselves since birth. You know, fossil evidence suggests, Brenton, that they could fly immediately upon hatching or soon after. So I don't understand how he survived. Even when they find him, how he survived. Like, you know when he gets covered in oil at one point, I'm just like, you should be dead.
It's like tar. I don't even think it's oil. I think it's like...
Yeah.
It's
so weird.
It's like chilling in a cement mixer and then coming out and being like, oh, that was fun. Like,
yeah, and like, oh, we'll pretend to be a scary dinosaur. It's like, what are you doing?
So, Nathan, you really did some research.
I really did some research.
Nathan, what if I said to you that there is such a thing as suspension of disbelief, especially in a prehistoric setting?
Made for toddlers, like, deliberately made for toddlers.
Would that blow your mind?
Of course not. And you know what? Dude, the films that we've watched, like, I've suspended my disbelief for a lot of these films.
I mean, like, Last Temptation of Christ. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness, no, of course. Oh, yeah, watch out. But no,
William Dafoe was Jesus. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but even, like, in, like, Mononoke or something, I suspended disbelief.
Yeah, of
and,
course,
like,
of course,
all that.
yeah.
But, like, no. And obviously, none of these issues actually I have a problem with. But, like, I don't
But
know.
it's fun.
I find it funny that the production team claimed to go to all these museums and this is what they took away from it.
It's like they did, and they probably sat down for that silent film and were like, oh, we're going to make it so historically accurate, and then we're like, oh, wait, yeah, this is for kiddies.
Yeah. So
Nathan, I'm looking at your notes now, and I'm very concerned. What have you done?
Okay. So, Brenton, in the name of research, I may have dug around the internet to see how other people respond to this franchise. Not to just this film, but to this franchise. And I managed to stumble upon this article where one guy, he marathoned all 14 films. So, 13 films. So, like, he watched them all over, like, 3 days, some, like, random guy, and he went to, like, a Costco, and it said there was, like, a box set of all these films for the price of $28. And the box set, Brenton, it promised 17 hours of fun. And so, because I'd seen all these sequels over the years, but I've forgotten most of them because they're shit. And so I wanted to, like, dive through, and Brenton, as someone who's never seen the sequels, I just want to point out a few of them to you and let you know what the premise is.
Go for it, dude.
So, first before we dive in, what do you think you could do with this franchise after finishing it?
But continue.
Okay, so I found what, 6 films out of the 13 that I want to just quickly summate.
Sure.
The 6th film is called The Land Before Time: The Secret of Saris Rock. And the premise of it is that there's an old dinosaur that looks like Clint Eastwood, and there's 2 of the most obnoxious dinosaur children in the world, and the plot revolves around whether bad luck exists, Brenton. So the premise is that they hear some stupid story about the lone dinosaur, and that some rock symbolizes luck, and then if anything bad happens to the rock, something bad happens to them. So Clint Eastwood takes these guys to the rock to see if it causes bad luck. That's the whole film.
Sounds like a jolly good time.
It's shit. The 7th film is called The Stone of Cold Fire. Cold fire, Brenton, if such a thing could be. And the premise of that is that there's dinosaur aliens in the film.
Oh no.
And they're great, but like, it's stupid. It's just aliens, and they're hanging out with aliens, and they're like, oh, by the way, like, there are other dinosaurs around the planet, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. That's number 7. Or number 8. No, number 7, yeah. Number 9 is called Journey to Big Water. our gang, Brenton, they find a dolphin, a really camp dolphin, and they try and help it find its way home. So they literally walk around the riverbank for an hour, literally because the film only goes for an hour, and they just talk to this dolphin while it swims alongside them and while it makes irritating noises and obnoxious jokes. That's the whole film. There's no plot to it. That's literally just it. It's one scene of them walking with a dolphin. Brenton, Land Before Time 10. It's called
10.
It's called The Great Long Neck Migration. So we've had, we've had some magical rock and some dolphins and all that kind of stuff. This one is where Littlefoot and his grandparents just leave the valley. They're at the Great Valley, but they decide to leave it. And they have like some weird hallucinogenic dreams, which is why they leave in the first place. And you find out that they're taking a religious pilgrimage to a holy site. So so for some reason there's this like long neck religion in the film. And then Brenton, Littlefoot's father shows up.
What?
Yep. Littlefoot's dad, he's alive. And they hang out for the whole film, they get along great, and then for no reason he just decides to leave Littlefoot at the end.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, Littlefoot.
Poor Littlefoot. Does
Littlefoot... Okay, here's the question. Do they ever grow up? Are they ever, like, not babies?
No, they always stay like, identically the same age, like days apart.
That's disappointing.
I know, you think there'd be some like overall arc, but nope. Land Before Time 11, it's called Invasion of the Tiniosauruses. If that title doesn't grab you, I don't know what does.
I don't think you need to say any more about that one. I think that says it all.
Oh, but this has got one of my favourite plots, because it's about where these tiny dinosaurs, they steal the valley's supply of food, and so Sarah's dad, he decides to enact genocide against these tiny little dinosaurs. He's like, let's kill them all.
Holy
crap.
crap.
This is a genuine thing. And anyway, so Littlefoot, he finds out about these little dinosaurs, he hangs out with them, and then he actually helps them steal some other stuff because he realizes they're starving. And so he lies to the herd about helping them steal the food. And the movie's moral position shows that it's actually worse to be a liar than actually to attempt genocide. That's genuinely the message of the film.
Wait, so I want to know how it ends now. Do they, like, reprimand Littlefoot and then just go on a genocidal killing spree?
From memory, I'm pretty sure they just learn to live harmoniously together. Or I think like the dinosaurs end up sharing the food.
Let's just go with that ending, because that sounds a lot nicer and a lot more G-rated.
Yeah. No, they actually enact the genocide, Brenton. Like there's some
Oh, God.
that's really what happens. And the last one, the actual very last film they released was called The Wisdom of Friends. And this is the best, actually. It's where Littlefoot, he decides, Brenton, that he's Jesus Christ. And that he has like this prophetic vision of like these wisdoms that he wants to share with every person in the herd. Like literally Jesus, like discovering the word of God. And they have to listen to his advice and obey it with absolute authority. So anyway, Littlefoot and his friends, they find these new dinosaurs who were literally too stupid to live. Now I'm not calling these characters too stupid to live. Like in the film, it's addressed that they are too stupid to live. And they decide to go with them, Littlefoot and his friends, to rescue them, and by imparting these wisdoms onto the stupid dinosaurs so they can live a better life.
Sounds nonsensical.
Mate, this is the direction the franchise goes. Is this not the...
But these are all straight to DVD, right?
They're all
these
straight
weren't
to DVD.
theatrical releases, yeah.
No, yeah, they're no. Oh, but by the way, the last of those films, Cuba Gooding Jr. voices one of those dinosaurs.
No.
I'm not fucking with you.
No.
Academy Award winner Cuba Gooding Jr. does it. So that's the sequels, Brennan. Do you want to watch any of these more films?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't. I think I'll stick with this one. Because I gave it a thumbs up.
Ah, yeah.
Hey, Nathan, that was making movies.
That was making movies. So
Making movies.
How did they make this movie? Making movies. But hey, let's look at this film's poster. Let's look at it. Okay, dokie. So Land Before Time. Despite the fact of me shitting on this movie, man, this poster. What a poster.
This thing rocks.
This is like, you know what?
This looks like it's on the front of a VCR. And I'm ready to pop it in.
Probably was. When I Google image this, it probably was from the top of a VCR.
Get ready to fucking rewind it for half an hour so I can watch it from the start.
Oh, I do not miss VCRs, man.
Oh my god.
But no, I actually really love this poster. I thought
Dude,
it looks beautiful. I think the animation here is more beautiful than the film.
Look at the color in this thing.
Yeah, the color. The film's color is so dark. Like everything's so darkly
vibrant.
shaded. Yeah,
this is a great poster.
this is really. Yeah, it actually reminds me how dark the film is. Like literally.
What is the little
the little blurb on the top? It says, it is the dawn of time, the land of the dinosaur. Lost and alone, Littlefoot and his friends are about to embark on the journey of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's right next to this T-Rex just looking down them going,
imagine
dinner.
peaking when you were like a baby.
Yeah.
Like you did the best thing you'll achieve in life. as a fucking baby.
Could you? Yeah, exactly. Like their adventure of a lifetime is
And
like,
it's like, and they reference at the end that like generations to come will remember like their story, and it's like, imagine being an adult and being, you're Littlefoot, you like did the Land Before Time, you like you found the valley. Yeah, and I don't even remember half of it.
yeah. Do you reckon that's the reason like they went that direction with Harry Potter and the Cursed Child? Like Harry's just like, yes, I defeated Voldemort, now I'm a miserable middle-aged man. It's like,
Let's not talk about the Cursed Child.
okay,
Because it's still too raw.
for another podcast.
That lady on the train monster's just too.
I wish she rocked up in Land Before Time. Like,
There's a couple good scenes in Cursed Child, but no.
no. But what a great poster! Like
Yeah,
really
good-
beautiful vibrance. Like
Good
I love
time.
the slogan "An Adventure is Born." Yeah, great poster.
Great.
And from the creators of An American Tale. Was the American Tale that revered at the time? Like it must have been.
Well,
Like,
I haven't seen it, so
I have seen it as a kid. Like I remember being bored by it.
Hey Nathan,
Yeah.
you know what's coming up in future episodes?
Oh no.
We may have to do an American Tale episode.
I remember being fine from memory. I remember not standing out that well. I remember hating both mice. I remember preferring the sequel, which is like it's like an American Tale in Paris or Australia or something like that. I swear they come to Australia at one point. Or Down Under. Yeah, that's it. I think it's Down Under.
I've got no idea what this film's about, what the characters are,
I think like the first one's like a metaphor for like Jewish immigrants or something like that.
Is it like animals or something? What?
Yeah, it's about like animated mice moving to America.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm pretty sure it is they're Jewish. Like I'm pretty sure that's like the allegory.
Oh, okay. So that's why it's spelled An American Tale, isn't like
Yeah,
tail.
Tail. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. But no, I remember it not being that special. It's funny because when people talk
Riveting.
about the Disney Renaissance, like Little Mermaid was made and then An American Tale and then... Oh no, American Tale Down Under and then the rest of the Renaissance.
An American Tale wasn't Disney, was it?
Yeah, it's Disney.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so the American Tale is... Oh wait, actually maybe I'm lying.
Because this is the same production company.
No, I know. The director who worked
Right.
for Disney made An American Tale and then he made this film.
Right.
This is not a Disney film, obviously, but like... No, I'm pretty sure An American Tale is Disney canon.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, that's one of the
Let us
animated
know if we're
features.
wrong. Tweet at us.
Yeah, please tweet at us. Tweet at Brenton Moore, just so...
Title talk.
I don't think it's that appropriate. Because was there Land Before Time, Brenton?
Dude, this is the Land Before Time.
This is not.
Who created the okay? Who
Did time exist in the time of the dinosaurs?
who labeled time?
Humans. I can't... Brenton, don't do this to me.
The Land Before Time.
There is evidently time ticking as... Just because there's no clocks doesn't mean there's
there
no
is.
time, Brenton.
It's the we labeled time. It's the Land.
I am not
Before
getting into a
time.
philosophical
It's the-
debate
it's the-
on the
it's
nature of
They
time.
couldn't call it the Land Before Humans. It's the Land Before Time.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's a fucking
Maybe
awesome
before
title.
recorded time, I'll give you that.
Dude, this title suits this film perfectly. If they cut out those two little scenes of annoying baby talk, because it's just
It's like the whole film, Brenton.
it just kept and that title, this poster, it just captures that kind of wonderment of the dinosaur and the adventure.
I want this film to be called Sharp Tooth.
No.
Okay. Looks like we're calling it Land Before Time. The verdict's in and the jury's called it and it's there.
What if we called it Littlefoot's mum dies and he gets PTSD and then he finds a valley?
Yeah. Let's just call it yeah. Let's call it exactly that. I like it. Let's just call it Dinosaur Bambi.
Your child will need therapy, the movie.
Let's call it Shitty Jurassic Park. Like
Yeah, not bad.
Thank you. Thank you. Alright, I brought it back, Brenton. I brought it back.
Welcome to the Land Before Time.
Da 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 da.
Spared no expense.
They get to the Great Valley. There's all this like green trees everywhere, and then John Hammond just walks out with his cane. She's like, "Welcome to the Green Valley. You can see we've spared no expense." And there's like all these like just leaves in the big pile waiting for them. It's like try them.
He's got a fucking tub of like ice cream and he's like, spared no expense.
And they're like, "Who was this human?" And he's like, "Oh, isn't it great? Spared no expense."
Yeah, I agree with you. But before I rudely interrupted you, let's give this power. Power! Power to the people! Power! Power to the people, yeah.
You can't see it, listeners, but like Brenton's doing a little dance while he's singing it. And if you want to see a man moonwalk while also simultaneously shuffle, that's what Brenton is right now. Let's pass it to the people. All right, so passing it to the people. The Rotten Tomatoes score, it sits at 70%.
Oh.
And the audience score gave it 78.
Oh.
Obviously, they're all wrong. It should be like 10, in my opinion.
Interesting, the audience, 78.
People love this film. And like critics love it. Audience, when I was like collating these reviews to the podcast, I'm like, wake up, people. I can't be you know what? Because I definitely hated it as soon as I watched it. I'm like, surely there must be other people out there who feel what I feel. Dude, I had to dig so hard to find people who didn't like this movie.
This makes me happy.
And because obviously I'm wrong and you're right.
I know that this film makes others happy.
Yeah.
It's just, But it also fucking shits you off, obviously.
It does.
So let's get into it, buddy. Peter Travers from People magazine, which is ironic because this movie is about dinosaurs. The animation is fine, but the Stu Krieger screenplay contains violence that might be hard on the younger ones, preachiness that's hell on adults, and a never let up cuteness that can turn minds of all ages to mush. He didn't like it.
Thank you, Prime Minister. What do you think about that?
He's got a point.
Thank you. He has got a point, hasn't
But I
he?
got a better point, and
what's
that
that?
is, don't kill the inner child, Peter. I know you're dead inside, but come on.
Look at that face.
Come on, turn it around. I know you can.
For People magazine, it's like, come on, he must be a parent. Like,
No, he does have points, but again, I feel like the positives of this thing, that adventurous spirit, that whimsical nature,
there's so many better adventure films you can watch.
There is, but this still has it's just got a nice warm place in my heart.
I can't believe you thumbed this up. There's so many better films children could watch about adventure than this. Toy Story. Any of the Pixar films. Any of the Studio Ghibli films.
I'm not denying that there's better films than this. Like I said, I liked it. But I'm not going to give this a thumbs down because Toy Story is better than it. You know what I mean?
And obviously I'm not just doing that, Brendan, obviously.
It's like Silence of the Lambs. Well, Toy Story was fucking better. So.
That actually was my main point for Silence of the Lambs. I didn't want to say it at the time, but now enough time has passed. So
so now we can be honest with each other.
Look, I just wanted Buzz Lightyear to rock up next to Anthony Hopkins and he thinks he's hallucinating, but and he's like, "What are you?" And he's like, "You are a toy." And Anthony Hopkins is just like, "Well, looks like I'll have to eat you now." And Buzz is like, "No."
Oh, dude. Wouldn't it be amazing if Hannibal Lecter was in Toy Story 2, the Cheezels guy? That's all I'll call him.
Oh, yeah.
If that was a cameo of Hannibal Lecter.
That would have been so
creepy. And he was
creepy.
eating human fingers. I don't know.
Oh, I would love it. Woody just this isn't a toy finger. He's lifting it up.
Andy?
Oh, no.
Dark times.
David Parkinson from Radio Times, he liked it. He gave it a 4 out of 5 and said, if your little dinosaur lovers are still a bit young for Jurassic Park, then this charming cartoon should have them in raptures.
And also Brenton.
and also Brenton for whatever reason. It's true, because you didn't watch Jurassic Park as a child, but definitely if you think this is going to be too scary, would we recommend this film?
I didn't watch Jurassic Park, but I watched The Lost World.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did. That's right, you did. So, what would you prefer as child, Brenton? This or Jurassic Park?
my childhood dinosaur thing was Walking with Dinosaurs, the BBC Kenneth Branagh narrated documentary series, which was so good, dude.
Kenneth Branagh narrated it?
Yeah, dude.
Did you just think of Gilderoy Lockhart narrating it? Winner of Rich Weekly's Most Charming Smile Award was Walking with Dinosaurs.
When Harry visited Flourish and Blotts this morning, he did not know they'd be leaving for my full published works.
What's that laugh that he does?
Free of charge.
Remember he does and then he just he's great.
Dude, Kenneth Branagh, round of applause.
What a
inserted
legend.
into the podcast. Hey! Dude, I freaking love him as Gilderoy Lockhart in the Chamber of Secrets.
He's so good.
He nails it out of the park, and I wish he had a little cameo in Order of the Phoenix.
Same, because he's in the book. It's Order of the Phoenix is a very long story, but
I agree, but come on, Kenneth.
Even a post-credit scene, I would have loved it. Oh, because do you know, by the way, the Chamber of Secrets has a post-credit scene?
No.
Are you not? Okay, Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets, it has a post-credit scene with Gilderoy Lockhart.
What is it of?
It's like him at the bookstore. So you go back to the bookstore that Gilderoy Lockhart was at the start of the film, and it's a cover of his latest book, and it's called Who Am I? And it's just a moving picture of him as the cover, just shrugging his shoulders.
Oh, dude, that's great.
That's a real thing. Look it up. It's great.
Variety stuff. We'll move things along now. Variety stuff, variety. We love you, Kenneth, but didn't like it. Variety. For the most part, Pick is about as engaging as what's found on Saturday morning TV.
Are they wrong?
No, they're not.
But, like,
not.
you know, it's like, is this, you know, I've seen episodes of Inspector Gadget that are probably more moving than this. Stefano C.
Gadget. Great
theme.
Stefano C.
This
4
movie
stars.
is the Ice Age of my generation. Gorgeous.
Ice Age?
Is it the Ice Age?
It's nothing like Ice Age.
No.
Right, well, Stefano, 4 stars. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but no. Gemma F. 5 stars.
Ooh.
Fun movie for the whole family.
Disagree.
Except for Nathan.
Yeah. If I'm the father, I'll be like, that's enough of that, son. Or turn this off. Like, how'd you even get a VCR, son?
Enough of that.
I found it on the street, Charlie. Maurice R. gave it 4.5 stars and said, "My God, this film keeps getting to me every time I watch it. Am I an idiot to say this movie's more tear-jerking than The Lion King?"
Oh.
James Horner is a master of doing music by the emotions. The same goes to Don Bluth for this movie.
Maurice R., good on you, mate. Like, I'm glad you have an emotional connection to this film. This film isn't sadder than The Lion King.
It's like, mate, like,
oh,
I know what household you grew up in.
Crazy old Maurice.
Crazy old
Am I
Maurice.
right?
He's just off his meds this week.
DM, 3.5 stars. Excellently animated, but kinda slow. Watching with my 5-year-old, I really saw the wonderment in her eyes. She wanted to watch it again after it was over, which is something she rarely wants to do. Decent story. But I'm just going to say right now, no, not a decent story.
No.
But some moments which are kind of scary for its target demographic.
DM sounds more interesting than the film, like, frankly. Like, watching it his life than, like, the movie.
Good on you, DM.
On YouTube, Dr.4077 wrote, "The Lamb Before Time, making you cry over a creature that has been dead for millions of years."
You're not wrong, Dr. 4077, but I didn't cry.
No.
I probably had like a little... There was tears, not in my eyes. They were kind of there, but they weren't.
I had angry tears. Like, when you get so angry, you just start crying.
Yeah,
Like-
like single tears just rolling down your cheek as like you're shaking.
Yeah.
N. Penn.
Said, they don't make films like this
anymore.
anymore.
You want to know why?
Because it's shit?
No, because... Anyway, Jack Layton. Anyone think this should be rebooted for a new generation? No, I don't.
No.
Stop rebooting
They already
movies.
made like 13 of these. It's
Jack,
like,
come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You know me. Stop remaking movies. Make something new, buddy. You know? Make something new.
make the land after time. Like, make it post-apocalyptic and like the dinosaurs come back.
Cyberpunk dinosaurs?
Oh, mate.
Like
now there's a story.
Robo dinosaurs, am I right?
Yes. How has no one done this before? I'm sure there's some weird anime that probably has done that, but like apart from that, how has no one done this before?
Nathan, I feel like this is our calling.
This is it. We finally found the reboot. Brenton, we need to pitch this movie to Hollywood. Like,
Let's go, right now.
Right now.
Hey, SWAT team, get out. Let's go.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Just
Get in the
carry
van.
us to Hollywood right now. Like, we'll begin the sprint.
Nathan, The Land Before Time.
What a film.
Ah.
You know what? Talking about it, it does maybe relax my feelings about it a little bit. And like maybe the love everyone has for it maybe has relaxed me a little bit. But my thumbs are still both down.
Maybe-
They're buried
hey,
like
who-
the dinosaur's head in the sand.
Who knows? Maybe when we get to our episodes in review, maybe you'll come around.
Maybe I'll turn. Maybe in episode 30. It's like, was it Star Wars? Like, maybe he'll turn. Like,
Come to the light, Luke.
but
Luke!
I cannot turn. It is too late for me.
It's too late for me, son. Great line.
Great line indeed.
Yeah.
No, maybe by 30 I'll turn around, but no. I'm just gonna play Rocky 3 again, like, frankly.
Sure.
I'll just see that again. I'd
Fair
happily
enough.
have Rocky beat the shit out of that sharp tooth. Like, "Oh, what you doing? Are you a shark tooth, huh?" And he's like,
Nathan, it's been a fun time.
"Thank you. It's
Thank
been a
you.
fun time with you."
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Brenton. Thank you.
Ah,
Yeah.
Nathan.
But what? Oh, no.
I think it's a sharp tooth.
Oh,
I thought
no.
they were all extinct.
Quickly, I got a big boulder I can just throw at the edge of my bedroom.
Oh, quick. Good thing Sarah helped us.